All right, we have Jose joining us. Perfect. Hey, Jose. All right, let's go ahead and kick this off. So as I mentioned, hopefully you guys are in the right spot. Thanks for joining. This is a Crossvale presentation on next-gen banking platform. And let's see here. All right, so here's the agenda. We're going to do introductions, myself and Jose, and then we'll walk through challenges that financial institutions come across. And then we're going to go through our solution overview and why is this different? And then lastly, next steps. Before I start, I just want to go through some logistics. If you guys have any questions along the way, feel free to use the chat. So we'll hopefully respond to those throughout the presentation. As you have seen, this is being recorded. We will send the slide deck and the link to the recording afterwards so that you can follow up on that. And I'd first like to thank Red Hat for our continued partnership with Red Hat. Crossvale is a premier partner with Red Hat, and we've been since 2016. So I greatly appreciate this wouldn't be possible without their help as well. With that, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Mike Cohorst. I'm Director of Sales of North America for Crossvale. I've been here about 3 years, and I will let Jose introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jose. I'm Crossvale CTO. Been with Crossvale for a long while. On some of the things that we are going to be talking about here, I have built and deployed myself together with my team. So hopefully you find something that is interesting to you.
Jose. Oops, my bad. All right, who's Crossvale? So Crossvale was founded about 22 years ago. We started with a app development company. So that's our roots and foundations. We have our global headquarters is in Dallas, Texas. We also have offices in the UK, and our managed service practices out of Spain. We have quite a few banking customers, as noted in this slide. So, and we're also global partners with AWS and Microsoft. So, and you'll see some of our awards that we've won: Container Platform Specialist of the Year, Apex Partner with Red Hat. A little who we are. This is kind of our mission statement. Our vision is providing innovative, tailored solutions to help our customers adopt and transform to be able to meet their needs. And we do that, like I said, from our application development mindset to help customers enable them to bring workloads onto a containerized platform, and we'll go through that a little bit, but you'll see our 4 main pillars. We have experience, trust is one of our core values, passion, and obviously results for our customers. All right, so now we're going to get into the meat of the presentation as far as what companies face, and then with this, I will turn it over to Jose to kind of walk through how this was set up and founded in the sense of the challenges that you guys are seeing today. And we'll walk through that, and then we'll provide what we've done from a solution standpoint. Jose?
Thank you, Mike. Am I audible? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. So this solution has come about because we have been developing solutions for a mid-sized bank for a very, very long time. And we took what we saw as a common challenge or as a common issue, trying to create a common solution, something that we could accelerate the delivery of value to our customers. Some of these challenges that we see, the challenges are always a variation of I need to sell more and I need to service better with less cost. I need to retain more customers, so I don't have to sell more. I need to engage better with my customers, so I can do more cross-selling or upselling. I need to reduce the cost. I need to increase my efficiency when I'm serving my customer, when I'm servicing my customer. As time has moved, some of these challenges have been growing in importance. Some customers, our customers, some banks have been like not so affected by this until very recently, because either a disruptor has entered their market, because they get to a certain size and they want to improve things. Like when banks grow, not every time is in an orderly fashion. Sometimes it's more through M&A, through acquisition. And when you start acquiring and you keep more of those technologies around you and you don't integrate them, at the end it becomes very complicated to have a comprehensive solution for your customers, for the end customer, who is the one that is receiving the service that you are going to be providing. So with all of those challenges, these are more on the business side. We layer on top of this what the next slide is going to tell us, that is the technology side of the challenge. Can you go to the next slide, please?
Yeah, real quick, just one of those things to innovation is it has to happen rapidly, because as you well know, customer experience, if your customer has a poor experience, there's many different options. And so there's pressure on banks to adapt quickly. And so some of the stuff what Jose is going to talk about is how to incorporate that change in a rapid methodology. Let me move to the next slide, Jose.
Yep.
There we go.
So speaking on this is where you will have technology, where the line of business are more asking from the technology centers the response that they would get from a fintech type of company, from a company with no legacy, from a company where they don't have to support the hundreds of products that you may have in your bank, or the hundreds of different situations that you have to provide to your business. So all of that is being forgotten, and all we care about is we need to deliver more solutions. We need to be able to deliver them in an efficient manner. Like, we need to go very quick. Our ROI is very, very short. The time to market is very, very short. We want a big ROI. We want to have a huge return on every one of those investments. We want to leverage existing investments. It's like a list that keeps growing. Like when we are asking as kids for the presents for Christmas, and we keep selecting all of it. That's the way it feels. Everybody wants absolutely everything. But when you keep buying all the solutions, and in this space, there is a lot of COTS provider of off-the-shelf products that banks buy. Those products don't play very well into that mentality, into improving the customer experience, or improving the results that you're getting, or improving the sales that you want. All of those products, they do one thing and one thing well, but they don't create an experience that is ubiquitous, that is consistent across all your products. So that, again, creates a downstream effect on technology. The line of businesses keep asking things that the technology centers are limited in what they can provide. So if we, can you go to the next slide, Mike?
Sure.
When we add all of this and we try to put it inside of a development, like a development of functions, a development of experience, or a development of engagement, it quickly become very, very expensive to do, or very, very risky to do. We have all of these business problems. We have multiple intakes for work. We have many, many different ways to implement those solutions. There is a lack of, not a lack, but a way to improve some of those delivery life cycles and validation as well. I'm a huge fan of one of the books that talks a lot about this, that is the Lean Startup. I don't know if everybody has read this or not, but I really recommend the book. In that book, they tell the story of a company where they ask in their first day, a developer should be able to deploy to production. And the system should be able to take it. And if it fails, it should be automatically rolled back with no intervention and nothing happening. So if something happens, it's not the issue of the developer, it's the issue of the system. And that needs to be researched. It's not that it's always achievable, I know, but it's a great goal to have. And with that goal in mind is how we started developing this system, the system that we have, that we are going to be talking about. Can you go to the next slide, Mike?
Okay.
So what are our goals here? The goals that we wanted to meet with this system. We wanted to be able to offer personalized interactions, meaning that we can detect who is engaging, which customer is it, at what moment in the life of that customer, in the lifetime of the customer. We wanted to be able to offer functionality across all the different channels, branches, digital channels, and any other that may appear. We wanted to increase that operational efficiency. We wanted to have a way that we could automate those processes and make sure that we could start automating task by task to the point where we could automate full processes. But in some cases, some of the customers where we go, this is a huge reach, and we start from step by step. Let's start working before we run. So automating processes and then starting automating tasks. And I know AI is a big topic for everybody, and it's great when you can apply it, but you cannot apply it to everything. So the way we use it is at a task level when it makes sense. In some other cases, having processes, having tasks, and having auditability is very important. So I don't think processes are going to go away with the magic word of artificial intelligence. It does provide an excellent choice for some of those tasks that now can be automated. And then everything that we do is always going to be subject to compliance. It's sort of going to be always subject to audits. At the end, we are in a heavily regulated environment, and building something that is compliant is not impossible. I don't think it's hard. That's because we have done it many times. But staying compliant is quite challenging with a changing regulation. So anytime that regulation changes or anytime your system changes, you need to make sure that those things stay compliant. And when we go into the next slide, we will see what I'm talking about. So we built this system based on 3 different pillars. One, having a solid platform, something that we know is going to work enterprise ready, supported by the best, that is OpenShift. Then we developed the process where can allow us to go fast, very, very fast from a delivery perspective, using the best DevOps, using the best security monitoring that we could find, and using agile methodologies. And then we use GitOps as a way to manage all of that platform plus application, such as deployments, configuration, etc. With these 3 things, it allows us to go into many customers. It doesn't matter where you run, if you run on premise or if you run in the cloud or in a hybrid environment, and deploy the platform that always behaves the same. Like trusted platform, trusted partners means that now we can build on top of that, and we know that everything that is underneath works. So let's go to the next slide, please. Oh, what is it? What are the different components that we have in this platform? Well, when we are talking about a platform for mid-sized banks, there are 2 different approaches. One approach is I give you a solution, and you need to conform to that solution if you want to use it. And the other one is I build you a solution and then it's yours. Well, we chose to have a hybrid approach where we pre-built a lot of standards and then we allowed for customization on top of that. So that way you can create your own experiences, your own services, your own integrations, your own models or processes, but you have out of the box a lot of pre-built components that are handling the things that are more commodity, that you don't need to spend a lot of time, and they are ready out of the box. Connectivity to core banking systems, modeling of data, processes, the networking, the standards for the platform, the GitOps, the templates, the DevOps, the storage, dashboards. All of that is pre-built. And we, inside of the pre-built, we can have something that you can consider framework, like how to interface with AMQ or with MQ or with Kafka, how to encrypt messages, how to encrypt data. And then we have functional, like fully functional components. Like I have an API that you can call that will return information from Thesis. Thesis is a recognized banking provider that handles credit card information. So we have a default component that connects to Thesis, creating that bridge, that connectivity. Then we have a lot of different functions within those bridge that give me all the information about the card, about the credit card, and the customer and the account. And then we have another service on top of that that orchestrates those calls to give me more advanced functionality. If we go to the next slide, Mike. So if you think about all of this transformation and you say, well, this is either too much or I have already started. So again, when we talk to multiple customers, they are all in different points through this transformation. We don't have to start from scratch, but this is the steps that we have to take one customer from nothing to fully delivered. So in some customers, the first step is when they reach out to us, and that is very nice. When we engage on the on step 2 or step 3, now we have to go back and make sure that all of those bullets and all of the things that we have gathered during those 2 first steps have been considered. So small things like what is our RPO or RTO, recovery point or recovery time objective? Are we going to host critical applications? Are we going to govern data? What type of process, if any, are we going to automate? Those type of questions is what we are going to be defining in that step 1 that are going to drive the rest of the engagements until we get to production. And even after we get to production. So when you can have a destination that is 3 years in the future or 5 years in the future, and an engagement with us that is only 6 months, we will define well what the 5-year goal is and what the 6 months goal is, and that's what we are going to be working on. As Mike was defining this at the beginning, we like to call ourselves also partner to our customers, not just provider, because we are in it with you. Either rain or shine, we are going to be there when things go right and when things go wrong. We have been in many projects, from core banking migration to bank acquisition, through M&A, through new channels onboarding. Almost every situation that I can think of, we have been a part of. And this solution has suffered through all of these. So it has been refined to perform well on all of those cases. Can we go to the next slide, Mike? Yes, please stop there. So as I was saying before, these are the pre-built accelerators that we were calling before. On the top of the slide, we will have what we call the system of records. These are third parties that are holding information that you might be using. Thesis, FIS, Black Knight, Touch Data, or Temenos. Those are typical banking providers for core banking, for mortgages, for credit cards, for another credit cards. what you see on the bottom, those bridges, those atomic service, those orchestrators, that is part of what we have pre-built. And we have a catalog, you can choose what you want to run, and that will create standard APIs. Besides this, you get all the other things, all the automation, the queues, the streams, files and sockets, and DevOps, and 24/7 operations. But what makes it even more interesting is that this is a live thing. So we keep developing more and more of this. Over time, as we go through more and more engagements, we add more to the catalog. Can you go to the next slide, Mike?
Oops.
And
did you want to? Do I need to go back, or are you good?
Back one, please.
Yeah.
There. So in here, in this example, you can see how through engagements, we add customization and we allow the customer to make their own accelerators, their own services. So a customer can develop their own atomics, they can develop their own APIs, they can develop their own orchestrators. We don't close the platform, we let it open so it can grow with what customers want and customer needs. Sorry, I forgot to mention the channels. What is in the bottom are what we call channels. These are applications that are accessing the information. They don't have a database, or if they do, it's not the system of record. They connect through APIs to pull the information and show it in their own application. And these are very common again in the market. If we go to the next, Mike. So at the end, when going back to the pillars and how is this different, this is what we have. We have the confidence in the platform that let us deploy on top of it, understanding exactly how it's going to work in every environment every time. Having those operations team that are very knowledgeable, that have been doing this for a long while, maintaining and keeping up the platform and the solutions, and then having the accelerators that deliver the functionalities and the capabilities to our customers. Can you
yeah, also real quick, just on this slide too, as Jose is saying, as you're bringing on this new methodology and agile methodology to expedite getting up to speed, we can help in the sense of maintaining the platform to get your infrastructure people up to speed, but also work with your developers and bringing new workloads on into the container platform. So this is, the piece that puts it all together to give you the acceleration needed to get the project forward.
So when we compare this to everything else that is out there, or this that I know of, this is what makes us different. First, it's not closed. It allows you to do things on top of it to make it your own. We have proven the model through multiple challenges, through multiple clients, through multiple iterations. We have demonstrated that it works in many different banks, many different bank sizes. It is very cost effective compared to other solutions that are out there in the market. And it is fully managed. So you can call us, we can go in, analyze with you, and you can decide how much of it do you want to own versus how much of it would you like us to take care of. And that is like in some cases, it's a deal breaker. Some banks, they really need that last aspect, as Mike was saying, and we are ready to take over as much as you want to give us. So with that, I think this is my last slide, Mike. Can you go to the next?
Sure. Yeah, just the giving you the platform confidence, in essence, like as you're getting up to speed, and the old adage used to be you spend 70% doing maintenance type performance stuff, where you want to flip it and spend 30% doing innovative. So by having us help manage the platform, we're able to get your team up to speed, give you the confidence to know that your software is going to run properly and be maintained, and expedite bringing new workloads on to the platform. So there's not only the platform confidence, doing the patching, the maintenance of that, helping work with the application excellence is bringing more applications, working with your dev team to give them the experience to leverage the platform and bring stuff on. And we do that with our managed service to guarantee that you'll have the 24 coverage that you need. As Jose mentioned, we've done quite a few of these, not only in the financial industry, but other industries. So we apply that methodology across our managed service. And so there's a lot of efficiencies that we see that if you were trying to do this yourself, it would take longer to do. So we bring that, and we have daily, monthly, and quarterly meetings. So we're bringing your team up to speed on how we do it. And so along the way, you're gaining that knowledge so that you can understand what the platform is doing. And from a cost perspective, as everybody knows, the market is fairly tight with getting highly qualified resources. So the cost of this typically from a perspective of managing the platform is less than an FTE to provide. And we have 3 sets of teams to do the 24/7. So you're always going to have coverage and confidence that it's going to be taken care of. And we adhere to the same SLAs that, Red Hat has, from a SEV 1 to a SEV 4 response time. And so that's built into this managed service practice as well. Here's some just, I know these are some, reduced time to confident, just more or less. Most organizations take at least 9 months to get confident on running and maintaining the platform. By having us join your team, and that's a lot quicker. We usually typically onboard within 2 weeks, especially if we build the platform. It's quicker than that. Reduced time to start. We're doing reducing from 13 weeks down to 3 weeks. Once Crossvale has been selected, we can help accelerate the deployment. We talked about the risk and reducing risk and meeting your ROIs by designing, maybe you're in multiple availability zones. And this also translates to being on-prem in any of the various clouds. So we have many customers that are in mixed environments, and our managed service goes across that, with the common theme being OpenShift and having a single pane of glass to manage that. This also does avoid vendor lock-in, so that because you're utilizing the underlying technology is OpenShift, and that can run on-prem in any of the clouds. So you're not going to be locked in if you go down the path of, say, AWS using EKS, and start using more of the Amazon services. That will then create vendor lock-in. And lastly, is just to reduce the stress on the team to, as I mentioned, doing their daily, say 70% of their time doing their maintenance task and 30% innovation. This will allow them the capabilities to get learn and get up to speed on the platform. With this, we can maintain your OpenShift subscriptions so that you're always in compliance. Typically, we see customers either go with a 1 year or a 3-year type agreement. So because we're Red Hat in the Premier Partner Program, we have capabilities of combining the subscriptions with that. Not only the OpenShift, but any of the middleware components needed that Jose mentioned. We'll work with you to optimize where these workloads run. For instance, we have a customer right now where they're running some data sciences. And so we're looking to utilize OpenShift bare metal, which gives them greater density. And that will probably be closer to the source of truth, which is on-prem. But then they also have some other remote type execution where that would run in one of their preferred clouds. So that's where we work with you to choose where you want to run it. We do, as Jose mentioned, we have a set of pre-built defined stuff, but we also adapt to what needs you need. So we have a prescriptive, but we'll give you the pros and cons of why running it this compared to maybe you have some other technology that you want to utilize, and we'll obviously be able to incorporate that. So that just shows the flexibility of being able to do a custom build for what works for you. And lastly, we will operationalize it for you. So, we're accountable for the platform. Like Jose mentioned, we're through thick and thin, we're there when it works well and when it doesn't. At the end of the day, you'll have a peace of mind knowing that you have the necessary support for mission critical applications running on the platform. Let's see, these are some what the cost of we mentioned earlier, right? If you're not innovating and providing that customer experience, customers will have many different choices today. So by the cost of waiting, you're increasing your technical debt, running on your old say monolithic platform. So you're also increasing your operational costs by not innovating and becoming more agile. Just you're reducing your agility and flexibility, right? Harder to respond to business requirements and market conditions. I mentioned the competitiveness, right? As if we're not providing that user experience, someone else will. And then also increased security risks, as we mentioned. It's hard to, you can build the platform, but then to maintain the compliance is an ongoing thing. So by not having a platform that adheres to the security needs, that will increase your risk. All right, next step. So hopefully you found this information valuable, and what if you are in the process, like Jose said, in that chart, we can go back and work with your team where you're at and give you assessments and help build out a plan to get you to the next stage. We basically we're available. You can give us a call or reach out to us, and again, we'll provide the slide deck and also the recording afterwards. If this resonates with you, we'll look forward to speaking with you individually and coming up with a plan for where you're at in the journey. And these are just a few success stories. I don't know, Jose, I know you've been involved in some of these. Any of these that you want to touch upon?
These are like just 3 examples of what we were mentioning earlier, like how can you scenarios that we have tested this solution through. Like one of the cases like M&A through multiple acquisitions and onboarding new channels, and we had to redesign the whole experience for both from an in-branch and digital experience. In another case, the legacy cost was getting out of hand, and we went in and implementing this solution. They were able to save like a lot of their budget to do other initiatives. Like they reduced the cost of the legacy by 85% compared to the legacy solution. When I say that is very cost effective, this is the metrics that I'm basing it on. And then in the last one, well, that is really the first one on the slide. This is a bank where we consolidated a lot of different solutions that they have to do something very similar into only one application, API driven, with an API first mentality, with sharing the information exposed through multiple APIs into many different users and use cases, consolidating all customer touch points into one single connection, which meant that now the bank had the control on everything that was going on with the customer. That was a very interesting use case. If anybody want to understand a little bit more about any of this, please drop us a note, and I'll be glad to go over some of these use cases in more detail.
Thanks, Jose. Yeah, so this is where you can connect with or contact us, and we can set up a follow-up meeting to dive deeper into any of this information, or work through where you guys are at in the journey, and hopefully have a partnership with you. With that, I think we're at the end of our webinar. I would like to thank again Red Hat for the continued partnership with them, and we value that very much, and this wouldn't be possible without them. I'd like to thank Jose for presenting our solution, and everybody for their time. Again, we will send out the slide deck and the recording afterwards, but hopefully you found this valuable, and look forward to talking to you guys in the near future. Thank you.